If I can get your attention, welcome to Voices Studios. Well, we're really excited to have you here this evening. Don't forget that we have food up in the John C. Badger Gallery, which is straight up the steps and to the left. Plenty of food up there. We've got a wonderful couple of shows tonight that I'll be introducing briefly. Well, you know, the weather person says that we're right on the edge of a tornado. What a great and energetic place to be, right? Just, I can feel it in the air. You know, this low pressure systems, warm night, longing for springtime. I think we got it going on tonight. So I've got a couple of words from the curator. Stephanie Schmitz curated the shows. So down here, obviously, the Jack Tilden show. Upstairs, the Scenic Art Loop. Stephanie worked with all the artists to put this together. Stephanie can't be here this evening, so I'm going to read a couple of prepared words that she has, okay? Now, bear with me, all right? So this, I'm not going to talk in Stephanie's voice because I'm not that good of an impersonator, okay? Good evening and thank you for being here. I am truly sorry I cannot be with you this evening for this wonderful exhibition. It has been an honor to work closely with the artists involved in both galleries. I am grateful to everyone who helped bring this evening together. These two exhibitions are different in tone and focus. Both are rooted in care, intention, and strong artistic vision. I hope you take your time with the work and let it all unfold in front of you. Upstairs in the Joe Mulgrew Gallery, we are exhibiting regional renderings, artists of the Scenic Art Loop. Working with the artists of the Scenic Art Loop has been a genuine pleasure. This is a group of serious, dedicated artists from our Driftless region, each with a different practice and perspective. Bringing this work together in one space has been both rewarding and inspiring. I care deeply about showcasing artists who live and work in the area, and this exhibition reflects the strength of that collective. I am proud of what they have put together for the show tonight. Here in the main gallery, we are exhibiting interesting marks celebrating the art of Jack Tilden. Curating interesting marks has been a great honor and truly meaningful. Over the past month, I have spent time with Chris Tilden. Through our conversations, I have gained insight into Jack's life, his process, and the care he brought to his work. This exhibition focuses on depth and range of his artistic practice. From detailed, carefully composed works of expressive black and white abstracts, Jack balanced discipline and freedom in a way that was unique in his own. It was truly a privilege to work with Chris in shaping this evening's exhibition. I am grateful for the opportunity to share Jack's work with you tonight. So, those are the words of Stephanie. Stephanie has been working with us for the last couple of shows, and she's been so exceptional. You know, the depth of care that she's done in just about everything, hanging the show with David back here, who is your bartender tonight, and in curating the show with Chris. I know that Stephanie expressed a great interest in being able to meet people, although deceased, through their art and through the loved ones that shared the work with them. Chris, would you have a few words to share? Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Tilden.
This is going to be hard. Well, first of all, thank you so much for coming to the opening. And one of the things I'm very proud about is that this is actually a fundraising effort, and it's for the Lantern Center for Art Programs. And I have to admit that tonight's pretty bittersweet for me because I think it's probably going to be Jack's last art show. Primarily because I've sold almost all of the things I'm willing to give up, and the kids and I will be kind of over our dead bodies to give up some of the other things. You know, as most of you are aware, Jack passed from a very, very aggressive form of cancer 2 years ago. In fact, if 2.5 years ago somebody told me I would be a widow by now, I'd say, you're crazy. He's healthier than I am. He was healthy as a horse. For those of you who knew him, he was a Renaissance guy, and he was a sort of guy that just loved life. He was also a prolific artist. We used to joke that the key to the success of our 42-year or 41-plus-year marriage was that he was in the studio and I was off getting to do pretty much what I wanted to do. We would show up at dinner time and see what the other person was up to. One of the things I also used to say is that Jack had lots of art in him, and I think he still, when he became ill, he was still drawing, we were still taking little drives so he could create art, and I think he had art in him until his last breath. I love the fact that this show is entitled Interesting Marks. Well, Stephanie, the curator, she's a gem. I absolutely loved working with her. She was wonderful. She came up with the title of the show, and went Interesting Marks, and she did it because I was describing Jack's approach to creating art, and it was a quote that he had on his website. But it's also an apt metaphor for his life. He left his mark on hundreds of students during his early teaching career. Then, over the years, he worked with aspiring artists of all ages, encouraging them encouraging them in creating their own art. In fact, there's a couple here that would be nodding when I say this. And again, he left their mark on their future art. It's been extremely important to me to continue Jack's legacy of leaving a mark and that it lives on. In fact, maybe that's how I've come to terms with the last 2.5 years of my life. Jack is no longer with us, but high school students at the Tilton Art Gallery, Magdalena Center for the Arts, now have opportunities to be touched by the mark he's left. The Student Gallery was the first project our family supported through Jack's art sales posthumously. And there have been over 25 shows there, which has been really, really wonderful. Let's see. We missed a page. Oh, it's on the back. Okay. This year, we're funding a creative expression program for immigrants and refugees served at the Lantern Center. Jack's art sales will be used to hire a master's level certified art therapist to consult on program design, train volunteers, and purchase supplies. I have just one last Jack story to tell you that relates to all of this. 3 years ago this month, and actually Ramadan, Jack and I were in Morocco, and he was creating his work. In fact, a couple of the sketchbooks here show some of his artwork. We were in Chefchaouen, which is the Blue City, the famed Blue City, and Jack was doing his usual sketching. I had been out wandering, then I sat down beside him and did my usual reading a book while he was sketching. Well, there was this cutest little Moroccan boy, about 7 or 8, beautiful brown eyes, and he was going like this up to and looking over Jack's shoulder, and Jack was so intent he wasn't paying any attention. So I elbowed Jack and I said, "Take a look, you've got a fan." So what Jack did, it was kind of cool. Jack did, he would make a couple more marks and then he would turn to the little boy and go. So the little boy would go. And then Jack made a couple of outrageous marks which didn't match the drawing, and the little boy goes. So then, I'll never forget the look on this kid's face. Jack pulled out a couple of the pencils, colored pencils, handed over the book, and mimed, "You draw." And so the little boy drew. And then when they got all done, Jack ripped the page out of the book and gave it to him. well, this little boy who had been so quiet beforehand, he only spoke Arabic, or Dujan, I think it's pronounced. Anyway, he was just like, and then he ran and got his grandfather, and I could tell it was probably his grandfather was kind of on the way looking, because I'm sure he was wondering what these people were doing with this cute little boy. But the grandfather came, and he spoke very rudimentary English, and he thanked us. And he had the little boy first in Arabic thank Jack, and then to practice his English to thank Jack. And I thought, what a cultural expression. And anyway, art is truly a language that spans the generations, and it spans the cultures. It brings people together, and it truly can be used to heal. I think that's something that our society needs right now. I kept thinking about that little boy watching the news the last week and wondering what that Muslim culture thinks right now. These are truly interesting times. Okay, let's see. I promise I'm sober. Jack would be delighted with what's happening at the Lantern Center, and he would be very proud to be able to leave the Tilton's mark there so that we can have some sort of healing programs at the Lantern Center. So again, thank you for supporting his art. Thank you for listening to me. And on one last note, I want to thank the writers of the Dubuque Area Writers Guild. They are collaborating with Jack, and they have done poetry to give their interpretation of Jack's artwork. Plus, they're going to do a reading on the 20th that includes more about the interesting times. Now, I promise I am done.
Thank you, Chris. That was heartfelt, and we appreciate it so much. Thank you. So, you know, one of the things here at Voices Studios is our artist talk, and I'm always so proud of the people that are here and will listen and see deeply into the work through the artist or the representative of the artist. Chris, I know it's a big move to put these pieces on the wall and see them be disseminated onto the walls of the world, but I'm sure that's what Jack would want, and we appreciate your courage and your bravery for sharing this work. Okay, thank you so much.